All right, so as you can tell by the title, we're gonna be going over the Huda Beauty Rose Quartz palette. I picked this up during the Rouge sale, and this is the first time that I'm able to get it out and get into the palette. And if you haven't seen it yet, this is what the palette looks like. Super pretty, 15 shades. And what I like about this is I would call it when cool meets warm. That's how I would describe it. $18 shades, not 15, sorry. But yeah, I would definitely call this when cool meets warm because it has the perfect blend of warm and cool tone. And I find with my dark skin that sometimes it's hard for me to wear cool tone colors on their own. But when you find the right blend and a good palette that you're able to mix the two together without it looking muddy or just changing the colors to look really ugly on, you know, my skin tone. So I find that certain brands do an amazing job, and Huda is one of them that does mix cool and warm tones together. So this palette has, again, this ugly color, this controversial color in the middle right there from the last Naughty Nudes palette where we had this, I don't know, petri dish kind of looking color that was more like an opalescent, iridescent kind of color in this palette again. And then in this palette, you still have her marble metallic shades, which kind of have that cream consistency. So they're kind of like cream to powder. And those are really, really pretty. So we have 3 marbles, and those are probably like the standout shades in the palette. And then we have some more shimmers. So we have 4 shimmers. And then we have 3 marbles, maybe 5 shimmers. And then the rest are matte. So we have like 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 matte shades in the palette. So let's go ahead and jump into some swatches. So we're going to start out with swatches. So I'm just gonna go against the first 6 shades on the top row. And what I like about this, look how flat this palette lays. So that is pretty dope that it lays so flat. All right, so we're starting from Empowered. That's gorgeous. I should just go that way. And then next to Empowered is Cosmic Love. And then we have Gratitude. That's a pretty color. And then we have Aurora. And then we have Quartz. That's Quartz. So let's go with, can't get my thumb. That is, which one is that one? That's Energized. No, that's Blissful. Then we have Cherished, this pink shade. I don't know what that is, lavender. And then we have Energized. And then we have Precious, which is definitely your cool tone color right there. I'm gonna go in with Happiness. So that is Happiness right there. So far, my 2 favorite shades are definitely Gratitude, Aura, and this is Quartz. So definitely more on the warm tone spectrum. All right, so we got the last shades, the last row of shades. We have, I'm gonna come down here, Self-Love. That's Self-Love. Then we have Radiance right there. Then we have Moon Magic. That one has like that nice lavender blue shift. Then we have Abundance right there. And then we have Serenity. So that is Serenity. And then we have one last shade, and that is gonna be Mantra. So, and this is the darkest shade in the palette. So I have Mantra next to Aurora. And there you have all 18 shades. So pretty. So even though on my dark skin, I feel like we can still make all of the shades work. Like I said, Huda just does an amazing job of mixing the cool tones together with the warm tones that makes it appropriate for, you know, all skin tones to wear. Now, I don't know if this palette would really work on someone that's really deep, like a 450, 470, you know, 480, using the Fenty as a reference. Some of the colors will be really, really pretty, and then some of them could look muddy when you get really, really dark. So you do have to be mindful of that. And I just say you have to kind of play around with it. So let's go ahead and jump into an eye look that I'm gonna use a cool tone and a warm tone to be able to pull off this look. So let's get into that. Okie dokie, so I'm gonna go into the first shade, and the first shade that I'm gonna go into is Happiness. And I'm gonna show you that Happiness is this super, super like pink shade right there in the palette. So that's what I'm gonna go in, and then I'm gonna mix that with Aurora, which is this shade right here towards the end. So those are gonna be the two shades that we're gonna go in with for the eyes. So first, Happiness. I don't know, this is like really pink. But so you kind of see how the coolness of this, it's like a mauve-y kind of color, but like pinky mauve. And I'm just putting that directly into my crease area. And it's definitely a shade that is buildable into the eye area. So we're just gonna build this up. And I can already see that I like it. It's just gonna give me that nice pink hue in the crease. So it's kind of gonna be that like that peekaboo kind of color. So I'm just keep on building up the color and just going in with it that way. So once I get to a nice build, then I'm gonna be good to go. Okay, so got Happiness blended all out into the crease, into the transition area, and I really like what that's looking like. So now I'm gonna go in with the warmer shade called Aurora, and I'm just gonna really focus this right into the crease area and also into the outer V area, and that's where I am going to concentrate that color, just to kind of warm up this look a lot more. And you can already see that it is already looking pretty warm from adding Aurora in. So it's not looking, still the Happiness color is definitely dominating because it has that pink shift to it, or that pinky color. So definitely loving the way that this looks. Okay, so for the lid, I'm gonna go in with Self Love, and I'm going to, whoa, I picked up a lot on the brush, as you can see. So let's see, Self Love, oh my God. Wow. That was not what I was expecting. Look at that, y'all. Do y'all see that? Dang. Okay. I can dig it. And normally I like to go in with my fingers first, but I didn't even have a chance to because I didn't need to. So as I mentioned, this is oh, I'm sorry, you guys can't see. This is one of those cream to powder kind of texture. This is so pretty that I love it. Let me see if I could go over it with my hands, what that looks like. Wow, even prettier. Wow, no words. I'm telling you, Huda always comes through with these shades. Look how pretty that is. Okay, so I am back and I finished off the rest of my face, and everything that I used today for today's look is going to be listed in the description box down below. So, what are my thoughts on this eyeshadow palette by Huda Beauty? Again, I think that Huda does an amazing job of mixing colors together, cool tones and warm tones together, and it makes it to where it's wearable, and it's, you know, there's something in that palette for everybody and whatever colors it is that you may like. Now, again, you get 18 shades. The palette is $67. It is a little bit pricey. So I would say that if you're going to buy, just make sure that it's something that you're gonna get a lot of use out of, and you're gonna get a lot of use out of the colors. For me, I like the colors. I tend to like those mauve tones, and it has a little bit of warmth to it, but I know how to, you know, really make the cool and the warm tones blend together. So that I totally like. Now this eye look, oh my God, listen, gorge, 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 gorge. Now, as you recall, when I was blending, I used that really, really fuchsia pink. It's not really fuchsia pink. It was probably more like a bright pink lavender, or kind of one of those cooler tone colors. And it didn't really look like anything on my eyes, you know, when I went in with that color. Then when I went in with Aura, that's where the magic really happened. And then this lid shade, Self Love. And in the inner corner, I use, is it Enamor? I don't know, let me tell you. For the inner corner, I use Energized. Can you imagine Energized all over the lid? You guys, I love the palette. Like I said, Huda never disappoints. I do think that her bigger palettes, these 18 pan palettes, sometimes are better quality than her quads. They're not really quads, but sometimes better than these smaller palettes, because these end up a lot of times being a hit or miss, because those matte shades sometimes just be so dry and you have a matte fallout. But her shimmers never disappoint. Like, they pack a punch and they always show up and perform very well. So I like the palette. I feel like I can get a lot of use out of the palette. I can make it work for me. Some of the only shades that I probably wouldn't use is Cherished, and it's that like light color. And I do think that all the other colors are buildable, because Happiness was buildable because I did go in and build that color up to get it to really work. This is what I used right here. So I did get it built up a lot to be able to go in and give me a lot of good pigmentation. So again, the palette is $67. I didn't feel like it was muddy. I did have a little bit of fallout when I went in with the lid shade. So I did have some fallout under my eyes with that. But other than that, I didn't feel like the colors got muddy, because I did purposefully use a cooler tone and a warmer tone, and I don't feel like it looks muddy at all. I feel like it blended really nicely and gave me what I was looking for. So I love the palette. I recommend it. Again, only if it's something that you feel like you're going to use, because cool tones are a lot harder to work with, especially if you're a lot darker toned than I am. For reference, I probably would be like a 420 in Fenty Beauty. So if you're gonna go like, 450, 460, then I would probably caution, err on the side of caution with the cooler tones. And sometimes it's just harder to work on those deeper skin because it can get really muddy and kind of ooky. But all in all, I love the palette. I think that it was pretty. I love the shades. I love how this eye look came out, and I'm in love with this look. But I love the Huda palettes, so I could be biased just because I really like those palettes. But I do feel like they perform very well. So if you made it this far, again, guys, thanks for watching today's video. If you aren't part of the Lady M family, then please take the time to hit that subscribe button down below. I would love to have you part of the fam bam. And while you're there, make sure you turn on your notification bells to be notified whenever I upload new videos, because you don't want to miss out on all these videos. And don't forget to give me thumbs up. Don't forget to like, comment, and also share the videos with your friends. Let's try to grow this channel. Yes. And I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.